I think moving forward, every company can be a cleaning company, a logistics company, a whatever company, have to be a technology company.
As lubricant is to machinery, effective manpower management is to a business.
At a glance, they need to know how many drivers they have on hand, who are available.
Two companies are turning to field management software and ERP solutions to oversee their labor distribution. Singapore's port hub handles an average of more than 500 million tons of cargo annually. There are around 21 stevedoring companies on the island that facilitate this critical step of the international shipping workflow.
So stevedoring is the process of loading and discharging cargo from vessels. It is actually very labor intensive, but it has since evolved over the years. Now with technology, there are cranes, there are forklifts, there are gears that can carry tons of cargo at one time.
Founded in the 1960s by Harry Sim, Indon Shipping provides stevedoring services which are heavily dependent on a labor pool of lashing workers, forklift and transport drivers. When son Brian Sim joined the business back in 2008, the company was still operating the old school way.
There was no computer, no email, no nothing. Everything has to go through fax. So when I came in, what did I do? I set up the internet, I set up the Wi-Fi. I had to make sure everybody had a computer, I participated in a PSA tender. So within a few years, our fleet went up from 7 to 50 plus. Then we did all kinds of transportation from loose cargo to project cargo to container trucking.
For clients, Indon Shipping's expanded fleet of cargo transport offered more service options. But for Brian, that meant more pressure to hire skilled labor for the service fulfillment. The tough work nature and recent pandemic in the last 2 years have been causing labor shortages.
The workers have to work 24/7, even on public holidays and Sundays, because the port never sleeps. We still need to actively hire. For Class 3 drivers, we are still looking to hire at least another 80 to 100. For lashing workers, we are looking to hire at least another 20 to 30 more. For forklift operators, we are looking to hire at least another 10 to 20 more.
But the recruitment process has not been easy.
The process is too tedious. We have to deal with hundreds of workers. We literally have to interview workers daily, and not one a day. It's like maybe 10 a day.
May I know the reason why you left current company?
My contract end of this month, sir. So I'm looking for a new job. The same as the driver.
If we do it in our old system, that means I already have 3 girls doing HR. I need to increase my HR team by another 3 or another 6 more. But this doesn't solve the problem, which is why I thought that a software can help me.
Luce SG is a facilities and home services firm. The business was started by Lily Lu in 2005 under the name of Home Fresh with just $3,600. Her son, Jason Zhang, started advising on the side in 2014.
I had gone off to college in Silicon Valley. And so when I came back and I was able to look at what my mother was doing with a fresh pair of eyes, we started doing some of the things like building a website, doing digital marketing, which I guess like back in 2014 was a lot newer than it is today, right? Digitization worked back then, and the company started to grow. For the first time, we're like, hang on, we actually need to hire people now and have a space. And I think so this space around is kind of the first space that we were in.
By the time Jason took over the reins officially in 2020, the business had grown and diversified to cover 12 servicing portfolios that included cleaning, air conditioner system maintenance, and pest control. The company currently relies on various off-the-shelf third-party solutions to run its operations. in particular the cleaning arm.
So for example, if a client were to call us, the agent picks up. That then creates a ticket, then logs all the interactions, the voice calls, the WhatsApp messages that we have with that client. And then when we know what the client wants, we hand that off over to the operations team.
So in the old process, we find an empty slot here. Then we will check for the location with the postal code given. So we are going to search for a job that near to the client place. After that, we can compare. There are few slots here. In here, we can see the cleaner is available for 3 hours. So after that, I will drop a message to the cleaner.
We then had a lot of work then just manually patching from one system to another. We use Google Calendar to help us with the scheduling of our sessions. But then it doesn't allow the cleaner on the other end to then be able to interact with that. So then, there's some manual work at the end of every day.
This caused a few hiccups along the way, especially with customer appointments.
I think workers previously did not receive the schedule on time, or that they didn't know that it had changed.
Jason was worried that such errors would impact the overall customer experience. A permanent solution was needed, fast. Stevedoring company Indon Shipping is constantly looking to increase its labor pool in order to fulfill cargo transportation services for its clients. It has to ensure that 200 workers are deployed for every shift. Their walk-in recruitment process for the past 10 years proved to be laborious and inefficient, until IT solutions provider Pylon came into the picture in 2020 with a tech upgrade.
So I think getting most of the requirements through Brian and the HR team, I think there were a lot of emphasis that the things were done rather manually. So, from the people coming in, filling up the forms, and then giving back to the HR to scan, and then taking the IC then to scan over the photocopiers, it makes it a lot more cumbersome.
Pylon began customizing an enterprise resource planning or ERP system for Indon Shipping after conducting thorough research. The aim was for the cloud-based software system to contain a series of solutions for each department, starting with HR.
We also understand that it was a little bit more manual, a little bit more laborious, and then the intention to make it more digital.
We have to do a lot of paperwork. Once the worker is shortlisted for the interview, we have to print out all the papers for like an employment agreement, their pay package details, job description. Then scheduling the interview is also, we have to call one by one.
So, after getting all the specifications or the current processes, we first have to, draw everything out on, we call it the wireframe. Everything was being sketched out, and then we try to make it into a digital format before we pass it to the designers to then take care of the user interface, we call it the UI, as well as the UX. So maybe some parts needs to be adjusted.
Sure.
Otherwise, I think the rest of the thing seems pretty okay.
Pylon's solution for the HR department is finally ready for testing.
To onboard new drivers, we actually gave a button here where you can add a new profile, and then it will bring you to this page where you can easily just type in the driver's name, their mobile number, email address, and the position that they have applied for. So once you have filled this in, you can just easily send the form over, and it will trigger either an email or a text message with an onboarding link where they can go in to fill up the first interview form.
Previously, we used to have the worker come down here, write the application form. Now they can fill online form, they can submit their documents, everything online, which they need not to bring it physically to us, so it will save a lot of time.
The next task was to overhaul the rostering of workers' shifts on the ground, all 200 of them.
There were many departments, and then the computation can differ from one to another.
We have this department that we supply trucks and drivers to PSA on a daily basis. So our operation manager would have to do the rostering, scheduling, and tracking of drivers via a A3 paper. So end of the month, he would have to transfer all this information onto another piece of paper for the purpose of salary calculation.
Currently, I need around 3 days to complete my schedule. Then I need one more day to send in to my admin. So I have to come up to office to send the schedule.
The drivers will just leave a message, or sometimes they just call, I'm going to take leave maybe next Saturday. We are hoping to avoid this with the implementation of the new software.
The solution, known as the Field Service Management Software System, took over 6 months of development just to get to the trial stage.
We have to take note of a few variables. If they're working on the day shift, they cannot be consecutive more than 6 days. And if they're on the night shift, they should not work more than consecutively for more than 5 nights. Because of health reasons, so there should be an automatic adjustments when we are rostering the jobs to them. And there's another variable which is, whenever you're working, it should not exceed any time more than 12 hours.
If let's say you are a user, right, when you go in, at a glance, you can actually see everything already. The first thing we look at is the drivers, because they are the main revenue generating people. So we have full-time drivers, part-time, and those that are on course. So after that, we give a total number of drivers as a summary. You already know that that's the number of drivers that you have, and it's easier for you to allocate them throughout the week or the month. So for example, in this scenario, right, we are showing like 7 days. Once we edit, we can allocate the number of drivers. The driver's schedule, they will be able to determine whether or not they can take up the job, because they already preset the days they are available for working. So inside this system, we try to make it easier and clearer for users to straight away know how to allocate and how to plan the driver schedule.
Maintenance services firm Luce SG's biggest portfolio is its cleaning services, where it maintains a labor pool of over 400 part-time and full-time workers. For the past 4 years, the company had been utilizing external applications to manage the staff assignment process. But information gaps cropped up which affected the customer experience. So in 2020, owner Jason Zhang decided to build his very own field service management solution in the form of a mobile and web app system.
So the workers, they're going to get a new app where they're able to view their appointments, mark it as complete. They're going to be able to apply for leave, view their pay slips, and to do all of those things. And kind of to tie everything together, we're also building our own backend operating system. It was important to adopt an approach where we built this in a way that got the team involved. And that started from day one, right? So when we started designing the app, we got the different team members together to talk about what they would want to see. And they didn't just talk about it. We also had them do workshops so they would draw out what that app would look like.
Jason and his team of design engineers then spent 12 months developing the entire system, after which they conducted briefing sessions for the people managers.
We want to make sure that it's as solid as possible before we move on to cleaning up.
1 month later, the app is almost ready to be launched.
One of the key features that we have to test is that if we assign something to a cleaner on the ground, they will be able to receive it in real time on their app. So for example, through the operation system, we would assign a worker. So we're just using a test worker here, right? And then we assign something to a worker. So it says the worker has been assigned. And then this is the worker account on the phone. So we simulate that and we check that it is properly assigned. So this is the 1st of October. And then so if we flip over to the 2nd of October, we should see that right there. So it is right there, right? And then at the same time, now if we unassign this worker, they should also be able to see that update in real time. So when we unassign the worker, right, on our internal system, so that's unassigned. And on the app, if the cleaner just pulls the refresh, that should go away.
Stevedoring company Indon Shipping hired Pylon, an IT solutions provider, to improve the workflow of its key departments, HR and ground operations. The team came up with an ERP system that houses a series of software solutions.
For operation-wise, driver side, we should have around 15 drivers.
Manager Brent is taking his first spin with the new system.
So just now we were talking about the most exciting part, right? Was that when the driver can actually look at the app.
So on the screen, you can see that we have all the jobs listed for today. This is for all the trips from our customers that's supposed to be dedicated to individual drivers. And very easily, we can do it on the software that we can just edit and schedule the necessary driver that we want to arrange to them.
Once the operations manager updates the schedule, the drivers on the ground will receive a notification of these changes in real time on a web-based app accessible on their mobile devices.
So the system will help us keep track of the timing, and then it won't be a manual process, everything will be automated. But I think it will help save a lot of our time.
There will be a function, the DO you take on the site, then immediately you can send back to the girls. So you don't need to, every day after work come down and then just handle the
我感觉很好，因为可以知道下一个工作、后面工作都是做什么的，很清楚。以前都是一个一个来吧，不知道下一个做什么，做好一个才知道下一个。现在是一天的工作都知道了。
Brian expects the management solution to be up and running by this year. However, there are a few kinks to work out first.
So the challenge that we face is language. So currently the software is mainly in English. So what we have discussed with Pylon is, besides just training them and teaching them on how to use the thing, maybe we can come out with an instructional video that is in a different language.
Currently, about 80% of Indon Shipping's workforce are foreigners. So in the meantime, Brian's bilingual field supervisors will have to take on translation duties in order to get the workers familiarized with the new digital process.
这样应该就三轮这样就完了，差不多就完了。
那你需要穿这样走一辆还是可以哦。
拿走一辆啊。
拿走一辆可以给他们。
Brian and Eddie are also currently in the process of digitalizing the company's payroll exercise. Once all the individual solutions are completed, they'll be integrated into the new ERP system.
With this system, our staff will save 29 minutes per driver and total of about 42 hours a month just calculating the driver's salary alone. So they will save quite a few days on just by using this system.
In future, what might happen? Everything might be automated. The trucks might be driven by somebody from this desk due to the 5G technology. The cranes, the forklifts, and everything. We have to move with the times, we have to move with technology, and maybe we have to upgrade all our staff's skill sets. So that might be one of the things that we have to look at.
Luce SG, a maintenance services firm, has spent nearly a year developing an integrated solution that streamlines manpower rostering and communications for the cleaning arm of its company. Owner Jason Zhang and his team are currently in the middle of launch week. Some issues remain.
We had bugs where certain postcode validations wasn't working, so we couldn't create cleaners, right? If we couldn't create cleaners, we couldn't assign jobs to them. We had issues where we had overlooked the fact that we were displaying the address for our workers and our clients, but we're not displaying the postal code and the unit number. Okay, great. So I think these were the code changes that we discussed. Let's take a look to see if that works. So it needs to be 6 digits. So unless I enter 6 digits, it's gonna be red, and I'm not gonna be able to save it. So I think we have the validation there. We adopted a very conservative sort of rollout approach, right? We roll out first with 1 person and maybe 15 of his guys and 70 clients, and then if that works, then we scale more exponentially.
The team is on hand to fix any bugs.
Having trouble with my new apps, will you fix me how? Okay. And then just see, today on the 5th is got the schedule.
And you can see
I would say about 40% of our staff are above the age of 60. And so with sort of this demographic, then naturally there is a challenge in terms of technology adoption, right? And one of the key issues on the ground is that different people also have different devices. Some people have smartphones, but there's still a significant portion, especially those above the age of 60, that still retain, say, more traditional handsets.
60-year-old Mrs. Lee has been working with Luce SG for a year.
因为我是头一天用嘛，我要慢慢的才可以用得好。我头一次用的时候，真的有一些不知道怎么用。幸运的公司的人很快就帮我打开了，然后我要找今天要去的地方，很容易，一按它就出来。
所以你是做完了对吗？
对对对。
对，做完了就是去这边的会去看这边去主页这边。
To help his ground staff transition into this tech solution smoothly, Jason has scheduled regular training sessions for them.
这个是买衣服。
The integrated solution is now connecting the people managers and the cleaning staff more effectively. No more standalone systems that disrupt the scheduling process. As a result, the number of missed appointments with clients has been reduced by 75%.
I think by having everybody look at the same information, have the same data, I think we've been able to make significant improvements.
The dust has yet to settle, but Jason already has bigger plans ahead with his design engineering team.
Digitization to us is not like a one project, dusted and done type of deal, right? I think to us, digitization is a journey. For a company to be truly innovative and digitize, you need to do more than just pick what's available out there. We look at what makes us special and kind of wrap that together and build technology around that. Moving forward, every company can be a cleaning company, a logistics company, whatever company, but at the same time, they also have to be a technology company.